Hello and welcome as we are heading into the 6th day of December 2017. My name is Derek. Everything you do within your own risk, own reward. Let's get serious here for a second. Those who have been taking the risk to invest, to trade cryptocurrencies, well, they have most likely been doing very, very well. Yet another day, there's been many of them this year, in which Bitcoin has made a new all-time high, breaking past the 12,000 handle. And ever since, looking at this on a daily time frame, that it managed to get out above this trend line in here. It has done nothing but go straight up in a nice uptrend manner. I can pretty much put an uptrend line in here. Pretty much. No, I definitely will much. Does that make sense? No, I'm going to be putting a resistance line on here, but I'm going to shorten out the time frame to see which levels of resistance work out the best, because I'm still fascinated within the middle of this this pattern in here and what it has developed when it had a lot of the choppy up and down movements. Basically the outside period, outside day. Within an uptrend, these interesting patterns like this often resolve themselves within the path of least resistance, which is much, much, much higher. I don't think I've ever been I've never been involved in any kind of a bull market like this before. But let's shorten out the time frame. And I'm doing so showing the same amount of periods, or showing the same amount of time frame, but a 400-minute chart with many periods. And I'm just looking to see, connecting these periods, which is obviously a greater rate of ascent than the green line, how well they connect. And I guess in a case here, you can see that it's obviously broke that trend line. Interesting. There's no way I can draw this without a break. Maybe if I started at this top, and I have to make it a lower rate of ascent. So no, that isn't going to work. I'm going to be forced to be making a trend line somewhere in the area of around here. And this will be the 60-minute time frame. And again, when I'm looking at the action of everything that occurred in here, very fascinating to say the least. And I have seen several of these sell-offs go back up fast, boom, and then again. And here, it's been happening over and over and over within this Bitcoin chart. So whenever I state all these sell-offs are guilty until proven innocent, oh boy, are they ever guilty. And they haven't been proven innocent, at least not as of yet. So I really have no choice when drawing a trend line but to connect two peaks. So it's not as strong, decent trend line, unless of course it resists it right now, but it still is on a break, stating it's breaking at least this type of rate of ascent. Now what I like to do is draw a trend line on the opposite side and see if it matches the same rate. So I did the exact same line, and quite frankly, it does okay within this. But another idea is to maybe draw a support line down towards here, and then resist it at some sort of rate of ascent like this. Oh man, how would I do it? Well, it's really pointless, I think, in trying to put one in now. When we look at the message of this market, it's pretty obvious. I'm going to shorten up the time frame for the reason why I like to have like 100 or 130, 150 different periods. But it has broken past this resistance. It's a matching resistance amongst here. The last time it made it to that point, it didn't spend much trading time amongst the that previous price level. Where in here, it has spent the last few days trading in this 11,000 range, of course, now into the 12 handle. And the last time for Bitcoin I will show is a 30-minute time frame. Okay, don't know why that happened, but we have resistance, of course, in this area. Same thing as I've been pointing out. And now we're seeing this nice current level of resistance. And I'm going to be going with cliff high on the web bot. And about 25% of the time when I make a video mentioning about this, I get a question asking who that is. Whenever you hear something on the internet in reference to something, the easiest answer is always to do a search on the internet. Who is Cliff High? Who is the web bot? Or any other information that you hear. I refer to him as the Oracle of cryptocurrencies. He uses internet, I guess like people who post messages on places like YouTube, Facebook. I don't think Twitter because of character count restrictions, but I guess basic places where people post into posting forms of different such, and within high linguistics of the language is able to come out with programming codes. And his accuracy within WebBot has been nothing more short. I mean, it's been more than spectacular. It's been fantastic and all that stuff. And the 13,000 high change was a key level, talked about well lower in price, like $2,000, $3,000 per Bitcoin many a months ago. And this was supposed to take place many weeks from now, or in that of late February, which is basically 2.5 months or so from this point. And it's coming really quickly. However, in many of his recent WebBot reports that he publishes and he sells, it has been stating in there that the programming language and the timing for such has been coming in faster and faster. So when I talk about reading the WebBot between the lines, I mean, it just seems as if the programming that he's got within such is accurate. In trying to find the date, he was correct, if this is to be the case, that it was going to be a lot quicker. So I'll be interested to see how this rally plays out, if it in fact will make any kind of moves anywhere near, of course, the goal closer to 14,000 than 13,000. So 13 high change, if that will be a key resistance level. And finally, a quick look at the silver chart, which has broken its daily support level, both from the 18 average and of course this kilo, as well as this one in here at levels not seen since the leaving off of the flash crash. But when we talk about the Bitcoin to silver ratio, something back at 150 to 1, I stated would have a very large rise, but probably come back to 150 to 1, and I'm still on that. 12,000 divided by 16 is 750, which is a little under what, or around what the ratio is, as silver's a little over 16, but Bitcoin's a little over 12 at this time. And as things are momentum or moving faster, and there is definitely no progressionary signs of any type of COMEX changes within this market, I think a push above 1,000 and well above such does seem likely. Now, why would a move come back to 150? And I do believe there's going to be a time when there's going to be a very similar rush to get into precious metals, more so in that of silver, like there is right now, getting into that of cryptocurrencies, meaning a market that just goes haywire to the upside, very similar to what we've seen with Ethereum and Litecoin last year, where you have gains in a short period of time, probably 5, 10, 15, 20x gains in less than a year or 2 years in time. That's what I will be thinking to be coming, but as I state, it seems more likely as time moves on, the path of least resistance for Bitcoin will continue to move towards the upside heading into the year 2018. And the trend for silver, which we have seen over the long-term time frame, and this will be viewed within a 2-week time frame, but this has been a very long sideways consolidation. And it's pretty much in the middle of such. So this move has slipped barely below the 18 average. And overall, whether this goes down a little bit or whether it goes up a little bit, it's going to do very little in changing the ratio within Bitcoin because of the much larger volatility contained as such. When you have situations like we have now, where Bitcoin is rising higher and silver is going lower, you get a little bit of an extra deal in currently purchasing the physical bullion. Same thing with gold, of course, too, because, well, it's not having as big of a decline, but it's also not going up, though. And in a situation where, say, for example, Bitcoin were to have a big down day, a normal down day for that matter, oh, Bitcoin's down 7-8%. Even if silver goes down a bit, then the ratio would go lower. And if, say, silver has a decent uprise, that would make it more expensive to buy. But if silver hypothetically were to, say, rally within this range over the next 8-9 weeks and get back again above 18, 18 and a half, even 19 to 20 even, it's really not going to make that much difference again when you see Bitcoin prices going to 18,000, 25, 30, and 40,000, which are all realistic numbers to occur within the next 3 to 24 months. So that's what makes this very, very interesting times. But for myself, every time that I make purchases, the price becomes cheaper and cheaper, or basically I'm able to buy more and more. I'm not trying to time the exact number, but rather every so many months, weeks, however long, just buy some more. And as a trader, I will basically be using my gains to buy, and I look at how much, say, 0.15 Bitcoin bought back in the day, which was about $500 Canadian. And now I look at that and I see it close to $2,000. 4 times more buying power than it did months ago when I thought it was a good deal before. But of course I knew back then it was going higher. But part of my portfolio strategy within cryptos is every so often to take a little bit off the table. Tail risk protection, but this way, the longer the market of cryptocurrency stays alive and not any non-crashing type formation, the more I'm going to profit out of my long-term cumulative trades. And silver is a great way for me to turn cryptocurrencies into another investment class that is tangible and within my own possession. This is an item in silver which I don't really think can go down too much. And coming down towards here really isn't all that much more. Now the upside potential looks to be, on the short term, very limited or very unlikely in probability odds. Whereas the opposite is the case right now within cryptocurrencies, and mainly all the main big ones, of course, like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and so on and so forth. And now I will conclude tonight's video. Have yourself a great day and take care. Bye-bye.